Hi guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Today I'm going to speak about codependency and how it relates to the attachment styles. And with this particular trauma, really, it's as a result of childhood trauma, this is usually going to affect the individuals who are anxious and who are fearful avoidant. So the anxious, preoccupied, and the fearful avoidant, these are the attachment styles that usually struggle with this codependency. What is codependency? Basically, codependency is when somebody abandon themselves, basically, by doing everything for others, right, at the expense of their own needs. Usually they give that which they want the most. So most individuals who are codependent, they want that love, they want that connection, they want that understanding, they want that connection and kind of feeling of being needed and wanted by somebody else. They want to feel validated by the people that they care about, and they want to be understood, and they want to be listened to and heard for what they want to tell you, for how they want to communicate with you. They want closeness. So this is why the individuals who are who suffer most with this codependency is going to be the individuals who are fearful avoidant and anxious preoccupied. These individuals are usually very caring, guys. They're very caring and very sensitive. They're very intuitive because they can actually feel others' emotions and their needs. But sometimes this intuitiveness, if you might call it that, also can be misinterpreted. And so they may go off and give different meanings to things that they feel that somebody else is thinking or doing. Or you're right. So this kind of struggle really can leave a person with this codependency feeling depleted because they care so much about what others think about them. They care and they give so much of themselves to others to the extent of at the extent of neglecting themselves. And usually they're giving this. Basically, they're not even thinking that way, but they're giving to get something back. They're not thinking of it that way. It's not a deliberate act, but they're giving to get something back because at the core of their being, they're giving these things or doing things for people to be loved, to be cared for people to want to be with them, to understand them, right? So this is where it becomes a problem, because when people give to get, and they whatever they're wanting to get is not given back to them, then there's a lot of disappointment, and which can eventually end up in resentment, feelings of resentment towards the other person, right? So this, guys, is let's look at some of the traits that someone with this codependency have. They basically are extremely sensitive, as I mentioned to you before, extremely sensitive of the cues of their environment and the needs of others around you, right? You're sensitive. You believe that if you do more, others will reciprocate by also doing more for you, right? You also usually led to careers or jobs that is going to help, that have the opportunity to help others. So you may find yourself in careers like the military, the doctors, nurses, counselors like myself, right? Nursing. People who are helpful and giving will usually find these ways to also careers that will also be helping others, right? The other thing about someone who's codependent is that they need to be needed by others, but they are very good at ignoring their own needs. Usually, also, you will also overfunction and rationalize that you're pretty good at over functioning. You can have many different things happening at the same time. So you're always like busy doing a million things because you just feel that you need to be doing all the time, right? Because and you'll say, well, it comes easy to me. Yeah, I'm always used to doing all of these things, right? Not realizing that you're ignoring the things that you actually need, and also just giving everything and depleting yourself of just anything that you're to fulfill your own needs. You will also have your sense of self or your self-worth is usually tied to how you can help others. So if you're able to help others, you feel very good. But and especially if they reciprocate, you feel very good. But if you find that what you're doing to help others is not being reciprocated, it really affects how you feel about yourself, right? Your self-image. You also feel responsible for others who are struggling, and you will take on their responsibility and their pain as if it's yours. So you feel like you have to fix everybody, make everybody happy, but you don't realize that you are suffering as well. You're usually attracted to relationships where people need fixing, right? And you really believe that you can go in there and fix this person if you love them enough, if you do everything that they want. But usually what I see happening, guys, is that this person becomes the person that you're doing these things for. They begin to either feel suffocated because you're just doing everything for them, and they really haven't had to do anything. So now they expect you to do everything. And so it can really backfire on you, because you take over all their responsibility, they will just sit back and take everything. And then a lot of these people become very nasty and will actually expect you to do much more for them. And they will even blame you for whatever problem that they're having in their life. So that is a problem when you just kind of give so much of yourself and you don't get it back. And then at this point, you're going to start now feeling worse than you even felt before, right? Because you're not getting what you were hoping to get from this person, that validation, that love, that commitment. You're not getting it what it is, but you're getting something else, which is just tearing you down more. So your self-image is more in the dirt, and your feeling of self-worth, right? You're attracted to relationships, as I mentioned, where you're taking care of somebody else, right? So someone will be struggling. Say your partner is struggling. Maybe they don't have a job. You feel now that you have to support them and send them to school, and you'll work and then let them go and do and send them to school. When they graduate and they don't reciprocate that thing that you're expecting, it is going to be a pain for you, right? And I see this happening so much, where individuals will send their partner through school, and then when the partner is finished, they leave because now they've outgrown this person. And the reality is, guys, is that when you do everything for someone else and they are not really thankful for it, what they will do, what happens is, for them, you are a memory. You remind them that you helped to get them where they are. So they're not going to want to have that constant reminder, depending on the person. If it's not a really nasty, ungrateful person, they will not want to be reminded that you're the one who helped them to get where they are. So they will leave that relationship even after you've put out all of that. So I've seen it happen so many times, guys. And this is usually because the individual who's helping that person go through school has this codependent relationship with this person, where they feel they have to do for others to the extent of ignoring their own needs. All right. So the next thing is that you neglect your own care, and you believe that somehow, guys, you feel that you're somehow indebted to others, right? In some way. And this is coming from the trauma of your childhood trauma, where you feel that you had to do certain things to be loved. And so if you don't do it, then you won't get back in return, right? So and because they were your parents, you feel indebted to them some way in the little that they actually give you. Maybe you have a roof over your head, and so you feel indebted to these people to give everything of yourself, even though they're not treating, they're neglecting you in so many different ways. But now you carry this same kind of feeling and behavior into your adult relationships. So you go in there and you will, you just totally neglect yourself because you feel indebted. Maybe the person works and you don't, but you have children you're taking care of at home, or maybe the person makes more money than you, or whatever it is. So somehow you might just feel indebted, and so you just neglect your own care at the expense of your own needs and give everything to that person. The next thing, guys, that someone with the codependency has is that you do not create boundaries. You have no boundaries, and so people just kind of use you at will and will just basically use you, right? And you're at the beck and call of others because you allow it. You don't, even if you're busy doing something and somebody says, I need you to do this, and it's not convenient for you, you will leave whatever you're doing, even though it's detrimental for you to finish it, and go and do something else for others. And you cannot say no, and you just feel obligated to do everything for everyone, which really can cause you to be burnt out physically, emotionally, and mentally, and feeling depleted in every single way. So eventually what happens is that you start to build up some kind of a resentment against this individual who just kind of depletes you, but not realizing and recognizing that you are the one who allowed it to happen, right? So these are certain things that you can, as I mentioned, these are usually with the attachment styles, the anxious preoccupied and the fearful avoidant, because the fearful avoidant has the same kind of have the same kind of trauma from childhood as the anxious preoccupied, but to a greater extent of deprivation than the anxious preoccupied. And so these two attachment styles have these will probably have problems also with codependency. You also will find it very difficult to move away from toxic relationships or relationships that are not good for you. Even when the person in the relationship continues to hurt you and disrespect you or whatever it is, does not validate you, then you'll find some other excuse as to why you have to stay. Maybe you will even give the excuse that, oh, they don't know any better, stuff like that. It happens, guys. So these are some ways that you can, look at yourself and see, are you doing these things? Are you doing these things in your relationships? Or is somebody else doing these things? Maybe your partner is doing these things, right? And to recognize what codependency is, and knowing that the attachment styles that are usually going to be having challenges with this codependency is the anxious preoccupied and the fearful avoidant. And also knowing that you can work on getting better and doing better even when you have this codependency trauma. Okay, guys, so this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified as soon as I upload a new video. Also, guys, liking it is very important, especially, and commenting on it, whatever it is that you need. I try to really answer most of the comments that you write there, if it's something that I can help you with. And again, guys, never ever stop growing. Life is about growth and moving forward in your life, not staying stuck in that one place. And in the meantime, guys, have a great day and keep safe. Bye-bye.